Before my father-in-law passed away, he handed me a bank card with $3 million. Lily, as the eldest daughter-in-law, you should be the one to keep this $3 million. In my previous life, his words touched me so deeply, I vowed to protect this family with all my heart. But 3 days after his funeral, my brother-in-law Kevin and my mother-in-law Brenda cornered me, insisting I use the money to buy Kevin a house. When I checked the card, there was only $300 left. No matter how desperately I tried to explain, they refused to listen. They rallied relatives and neighbors against me, demanding I pay them back or surrender the house my parents had gifted me for marriage. I refused. That night, Kevin struck me across the head with a wooden stick. I collapsed into a coma. My husband, Mark, signed a waiver and pulled my oxygen tube. My house was transferred to Kevin. As my final breath slipped away, I understood. It had all been their scheme from the start. Now, reborn, I would make sure they got exactly what they deserved. I recognized the scene before me instantly. Lily, come here. Dad has something important to tell you, Mark said, heading into his father's room. Through the window, I spotted Brenda and Kevin already inside, both glancing around nervously, afraid of being overheard. I hurried to the bathroom and placed a quick call, then rushed back. Lily, hurry. Dad's almost gone. He has something to say. Mark pulled me along as the gathered relatives followed us into the room. My father-in-law lay on the bed, gaunt and pale. His cloudy eyes searched the room until they found me. He lifted a trembling hand. Lily, take this card. There's $3 million in it. Take it. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Old Mr. Miller must really favor his eldest daughter-in-law. I froze. An aunt nudged me. Lily, don't keep him waiting. Go on. I shook my head. How could I accept this? It should go to Mark or Brenda. It's all family anyway, another relative said. Just take it. But I still didn't move. My father-in-law's hand shook harder. Lily, take it. Kevin snatched the card and shoved it toward me. What's wrong with you? Dad's on his deathbed, and you won't even fulfill his last wish. Tears welled in the old man's eyes. Brenda glared. He trusts you. That's why he's giving it to you. The relatives chimed in. Lily, stop being difficult. Just do it for the old man's peace of mind. I kept my expression cold.
No.
What if there isn't really $3 million in it? Who takes responsibility then? Brenda and Kevin exchanged a panicked glance. Mark frowned. Lily, how could my dad lie? This must be his life savings. The room fell silent.
Kevin snapped, pointing at me.
Enough nonsense. Take the card. His aggression only raised more suspicion. Strange, someone whispered. Kevin's always greedy for money. Why push it on Lily instead? I seized the moment. I won't take it. But heaven knows my loyalty to Dad is real. The old man's chest heaved. His breath caught, and in the next instant he was gone, eyes wide open, staring at me. Brenda wailed and lunged at me. You killed him. Mark, your wife killed your father. If you don't discipline her, how will you face his spirit? Chaos erupted, some arranging the funeral, others trying to separate us. At the wake, Brenda threw herself on the ground, sobbing loudly. Old man, you worked your whole life for this family, but your daughter-in-law wouldn't even grant your last wish. How can you rest in peace? Kevin and Mark glared at me with hatred. Relatives muttered, urging me to show respect for the deceased. Then I saw my cousin Jake arrive. I straightened.
Fine.
But first, I'll test the card in front of everyone. Let's see if it really holds $3 million. Gasps filled the air. I turned to Brenda. Mom, hand me the card. If it has $3 million, I'll accept it and beg your forgiveness. If it doesn't, stop forcing this useless card on me. Brenda clutched her pocket tighter, glancing at Mark, who was burning paper offerings. His face darkened. Don't show off, Lily. Why must you argue? Just keep the card safe. I let out a sharp laugh. Everyone heard Dad say there was $3 million. But whether that's true, no one can guarantee. And when a man who usually begs for a few $100s suddenly isn't tempted by millions, pushing it on me instead, forgive me if I don't believe it's clean. Kevin's face turned red. I'm showing you respect by letting you have it. Oh, you never call me sister-in-law unless you want something. Now you're suddenly respectful? Jake raised the POS machine. Enough talk. One swipe, and we'll know the truth. This is from the bank, authentic. Hand over the card. Brenda clutched her chest dramatically, pretending to faint. At the same time, Kevin lunged for the POS machine. But Jake, taller and stronger, shoved him back with ease, sending Kevin stumbling. Mark's expression hardened, his brows drawn tight. Lily, if you have issues with me, we can settle them at home. My father just died because of your stubbornness, and now you won't even spare his funeral? The onlookers turned on me immediately. Lily always seemed sensible. Why is she acting like this today? She hasn't shed a single tear. Heartless woman. Mark is too patient. If my wife killed my father with her temper, I'd beat her half to death. Brenda whimpered on the floor, while Kevin urged Mark on. Big brother, look at her, no remorse at all. You need to teach her a lesson. For once, the timid Mark actually looked fierce. He raised his hand. Lily, you've disappointed me greatly. But Jake yanked me aside just in time. You dare hit my cousin in front of me? Mark's swing missed, leaving him fuming. He pointed at me and shouted, Lily Miller, if you want to stay my wife, kneel down and apologize to my mother. Otherwise, don't blame me for turning my back on you. Brenda shot to her feet, brushing dirt from her clothes, her sneer cutting deep. Too late. An apology isn't enough. Give your brother-in-law the house your parents gave you, or don't think about stepping foot in this family again. They were certain I'd cave. After all, in my past life, I loved Mark so much I'd even cut ties with my own parents. But this time, I stayed silent, my face cold. Mark gave Kevin a look. At once, Kevin and his friends grabbed Jake and shoved him into a side room. Panic shot through me. What are you doing? Mark Miller, this is illegal. Mark only smirked. Lily, this is my father's funeral. Jake is causing a scene. Even if you call the police, he'll be charged with disturbing the peace. If you want him safe, you'll do as I say. My chest tightened, fury rising, but I couldn't risk Jake's safety. I had no choice but to yield. Kevin pulled out a chair for Brenda, who sat with her chin high as everyone watched. I walked forward and bowed 3 times. My voice was flat. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Brenda lifted her head proudly before speaking in a slow, deliberate tone. At least you know your place. After the funeral, transfer the house to Kevin. I raised my eyes. Release Jake first. Mark's face flickered with unease. He reached for my hand as if to calm me, but Brenda snapped again. Let her leave. Just looking at her unlucky face makes me furious. Even the dead won't want her here. She doesn't deserve to wear mourning clothes. Without hesitation, I tore off the mourning garments and shoved them into Mark's arms. Grabbing Jake, I stormed out. This time, no one stopped me. The relatives only whispered among themselves, avoiding my gaze. On the way home, Jake fumed. Cousin, why apologize like that? I don't believe they'd actually dare touch me. I gave a weary smile. I couldn't risk you. An apology costs me nothing, but your safety isn't something I'll gamble with. Jake studied me carefully. Cousin, do you still want to stay with Mark? I laughed coldly. Stay with him? I'd have to be insane. Don't worry. Every injustice today will make them pay for it. Back at the house Mark and I once shared, I went straight to the drawer. My wedding jewelry was still there, and most importantly, the house deed. I packed both along with other valuables. My eyes landed on the watch I'd once bought for Mark. Without hesitation, I took it too. In my previous life, Brenda and Kevin had barged in not long after, demanding $3 million. When I refused, Brenda sneered, If you won't hand over $3 million, then this house deed goes to Kevin. Otherwise, you won't like the consequences. I resisted. But Kevin shoved me aside while Brenda went straight for my hiding place, grabbing both the deed and all my jewelry before fleeing. This time, I wouldn't let them succeed. When Mark came home, I told him through tears that Brenda and Kevin had stolen my deed and jewelry. But instead of comforting me, he waved me off impatiently. You're too obsessed with that house. Kevin and I are brothers. If he's broke, what's wrong with giving him a place to live? My breath caught. So, you knew? You knew there was no money on that card your father gave me? Mark's eyes flickered with panic, but he quickly snapped back. What nonsense are you talking about? The deed's gone, so just hand the house over to Kevin. You won't be homeless. Rage burned through me. In my past life, when I'd gone to Kevin demanding the deed, he'd beaten me into a coma with a stick. Mark's only reaction then had been a careless, "Women are such trouble, always stirring things up." The memory stabbed me in the chest. I opened the closet. Mark's expensive shirts and suits were folded neatly, every piece worth hundreds. I had always scrimped on myself, yet gave him the best. My hands shook as I grabbed a pair of scissors. One by one, I shredded his clothes into ribbons, only stopping when nothing remained but scraps. Then I packed up the house deed, jewelry, and other valuables, taking them straight to my parents. My father, furious after hearing what happened, rolled up his sleeves, ready to storm over to the Millers. I stopped him. My mother wept quietly. I warned you not to marry into that family. Now you know how cruel they are. I hugged her, wiping her tears. Don't worry, Mom. This time I won't forgive him. If Mark comes begging, don't believe a word. On the 7th day, Mark arrived with Brenda and Kevin in tow. Kevin swaggered into my parents' home, not even removing his shoes, before throwing himself onto the sofa and propping his feet up. Go buy us breakfast. And bring 2 packs of cigarettes, he ordered. I ignored him. Brenda stomped over, shouting, Are you deaf? Go buy food. Mark sighed, pulling out a bill. Lily, just get something for us. We're exhausted. I didn't take the money. My silence infuriated Kevin. He shot up, jabbing a finger in my face. Don't give me that attitude. We're asking you out of respect. This is my brother's house. You don't get to act tough here. His words made me laugh coldly. Kevin slapped his forehead, as if remembering. Right, the house deed. Let's get it transferred today. I don't have a dime, so you two will cover the fees. Brenda chimed in smoothly. Kevin, don't worry. Before we came, your brother already agreed. The house is yours. As the eldest daughter-in-law, Lily should take care of you. That's her duty. I sneered. The eldest daughter-in-law is like a mother? Funny, since your real mother is still alive. Why don't you let her play the role? Their faces darkened instantly. Kevin grabbed a glass and smashed it at my feet, shards flying everywhere. Mark frowned. Lily, you're going too far. Brenda dropped onto the floor, wailing theatrically. Old man, if only you could see us now. Since you're gone, we're helpless, bullied by outsiders with no one to protect us. Her performance stoked Mark's anger. He swung his hand at me.
Bitch.
Is that how you talk to your elders? Apologize to my mother, now. I dodged behind a chair. Brenda and Kevin grinned, enjoying the chaos. Kevin whistled mockingly. Big brother, don't go easy. Later, make her wring $10,000 out of her parents for emotional damages. Brenda added viciously, and make her parents serve me tea and apologize for raising such a disgraceful daughter. The moment the words left her mouth, my patience snapped. I stormed out of the kitchen, gripping a knife. My glare locked on the 3 of them. Kevin shrieked and scrambled backward, clutching his head. Damn it, is she insane? Mark stepped forward, trying to sound reasonable. Lily, calm down. If you hurt us, you'll go to prison. Think about your parents. I snapped, my grip tightening on the knife. You dare bring up my parents? Haven't you people pushed me far enough? Don't worry, we're family. Even if I cut you, it won't be a serious charge. Kevin cursed, darting in while I was distracted and wrenching the knife from my hands. Brenda seized the chance to slap me across the face. Marrying you was the worst curse of our lives. Mark, divorce her now, or one day she'll kill us all. I lunged at her, but Mark locked me in his arms. He glared with disappointment, as if I was the villain. Lily, you've gone too far. First you angered my father into his grave, and now you almost harmed my mother and brother. He spoke with such self-righteousness it made my blood boil. My parents raised Kevin and me with hardship. We're brothers and you're my wife. That makes us a team. It's your duty to honor my family and support my brother. Even knowing his bias, hearing it aloud made me seethe. I opened my mouth to retort, but Brenda cut in. Don't waste your breath on her, son. Hold her down. I'll fetch the deed myself. Mark grunted in agreement. I laughed coldly. Mark Miller, you're pathetic. Stealing from your wife to feed your greedy family. How low can you sink? He sighed with false patience. Lily, you're an only child. You can't understand sibling bonds. That bond is priceless. Then why don't you give your brother your house? I shot back. His face twisted with irritation. Enough. My mother's right. You're heartless, obsessed with money. After this, I'll teach you how to be a proper wife. Too late, I hissed, driving my knee hard into his groin. Mark let out a strangled scream and collapsed, loosening his grip. I bolted for the door. Behind me, his pained cries and Kevin's curses echoed. For the next 2 days, my phone buzzed nonstop with calls and messages. Lily, it's just a house. Give it to Kevin. We can always buy another. I won't make you apologize to Mom. Just come home. Lily Miller, forget it. I'm not divorcing you. I sneered at the screen and replied with 2 words, get divorced. Then I made my move. I contacted Kevin's creditors, telling them he was about to skip town. They closed in fast, and Kevin had no way to pay. Within a week, the 3 of them showed up, haggard and desperate. Kevin's face was bruised, his eyes bloodshot. Even Brenda's arrogance had melted into a forced smile. Lily dear, she said sweetly, we're family. Let's forget the past. Kevin's in trouble, drowning in debt. They'll break his arm if he can't pay. As his sister-in-law, please be the bigger person. Use your wedding house to save him, and I swear he'll respect you forever. I won't meddle in your marriage again either. How about it? I met their hopeful eyes with a calm voice.
No.
And I'm divorcing Mark. Mark's face twisted. You can't divorce me. Lily Miller, you belong to this family dead or alive. Even after you die, you'll be buried in our family's plot. I ignored him, turning to Kevin. You're running out of time. Mark's house can be sold too. And if you convince your brother to divorce me, I'll give you $50,000. Kevin and Brenda exchanged uneasy glances. I leaned in, voice sharp. If you don't, then fine. Lose your arm. I won't pay a cent. I can wait.
Can you?
All 3 of their faces soured. Brenda broke first, wringing her hands. Mark, you and Kevin are brothers. You can't just stand by. If there was another way, I'd sell my own house first. Yeah, big brother, Kevin chimed in quickly. She doesn't care about you anymore. Just divorce her. After this, I'll set you up with 20 girls. Pick whichever you want. Mark stared blankly, silent. Brenda suddenly slapped herself and dropped to her knees. It's my fault. I failed as a mother, raising you in poverty, giving you no power. Mark's face paled. He dropped to his knees too, clutching her hands. Mom, please don't blame yourself. I promise you, I'll fix this. Kevin knelt beside them. The 2 brothers clung to Brenda, all 3 sobbing, painting the perfect picture of family devotion. It might have moved anyone else, but my heart felt nothing. Their love existed, yes, but it was love twisted inward, a selfish, grasping thing. Mark glared at me, furious yet helpless. Once we set the divorce date, he began trying to sell his house. But it was an old redevelopment property in a bad location, and buyers weren't interested. Instead of facing reality, Mark started spamming me with desperate messages. Lily, I really love you. I can't live without you. Let's not get divorced. I swear I won't let my mom or Kevin interfere anymore. Seeing him soften, I simply forwarded his last message to Kevin. Minutes later, Kevin's ragged voice erupted over the phone. Fine. If you're going to be that heartless, then don't blame me when I stop holding back. On the 3rd day, Mark called me in a frenzy. Did you tell Kevin to mortgage my house? People came today to repossess it. I've been kicked out. I blew lightly on my freshly manicured nails. Wasn't that what you wanted? You swore you'd help Kevin and now you have. Consider it mission accomplished. You 2 should be thanking me. You don't get it. Mark's voice cracked with rage. If I lose the house, I'll have nowhere to live. Why should I suffer for his debts? I laughed coldly. Oh, so now you finally understand how it feels? When you told me to hand over my house, you weren't speaking like this. But now that it's your property burning, you cry about the heat? He tried another tactic, voice dripping with false affection. Lily, this has made me realize who truly cares about me. Let's stop the divorce. What's mine is yours. Please, don't let our home be sold. Our home? I cut him off. Didn't you say it was under your name? Funny how it can still be repossessed then. Mark stammered. It's under my parents' names. I didn't want you to take our assets if we ever divorced. I never thought it would end like this. Then, I guess your precious family can deal with the mess. I won't interfere anymore. Panic bled into his voice, but I silenced him. Mark Miller, enough. The day after tomorrow, we sign the divorce papers. Don't try anything else. His tone shifted, venom seeping through the phone. If I can't live well, neither can you. I'll kill you, Lily Miller. On the day of the divorce, Mark arrived with Brenda and Kevin. All 3 looked haggard, their pride stripped away. Brenda's clothes were tattered, even her shoes had holes. The moment she saw me, she dropped to her knees. Daughter-in-law, please don't leave my son. Your father-in-law died because of you. I'll take Kevin back to our hometown. Just don't divorce Mark, please. The onlookers began whispering. I rolled my eyes. Still playing the pitiful act? Fine, I'd play too. Mom, I cried, feigning sorrow. I don't want a divorce either. But Kevin's gambling pushed Dad to his death. When I refused to sell my house to cover his debts, you all slandered me, even forced Mark to hit me. How can I stay in such a family? Gasps rippled through the crowd. I knew that mother-in-law didn't look like a good person. Her husband's a fool, ruining his wife for his gambling brother. Pathetic. Anyone married into a family like that is cursed. Brenda flew into a rage, charging at a bystander with her hand raised. Shut your filthy mouth. But a burly man stepped forward, blocking her. What do you think you're doing? She froze, retreating. The man muttered, cowards, before walking off. When it was our turn, the clerk barely looked at us, stamping the divorce papers quickly, as if afraid we'd change our minds. Mark stared at the certificate, his eyes wet. Lily, we promised to grow old together. How did it come to this? You should be asking yourself that. As I turned to leave, Kevin grabbed me. Don't forget the 50 grand you promised me. I blinked innocently. 50 grand?
What are you talking about?
You said if I convince my brother to divorce you, you give me 50,000.
Oh, that?
My mistake. I lied. He lunged at me, but I tilted my head toward the security camera. Go ahead. Hit me. Let's see who the police believe. Kevin froze. Mark, looking shattered, whispered, Lily, how can you be so heartless? I shot back. Heartless? Isn't that exactly what I learned from you? After we married, your mom took 30,000 from my dowry, then claimed it was for both of us. You all knew your father's card was empty, but you pushed me to take it so I'd carry the blame. Compared to you, I've been merciful. Brenda's face twisted. You bitch, she spat. I didn't bother to reply. I simply walked away, leaving the three of them pointing fingers at each other. Later, I uploaded a blurred video of them forcing me to give up my house, along with the story of the empty bank card. It spread fast. The Miller family's reputation crumbled overnight. Mark quit his job after his colleagues mocked him relentlessly. Kevin, unable to find a wife, spiraled back into gambling until he lost even their family home. At last, the two brothers turned on each other. One rainy night, an unknown number rang my phone. I ignored it at first, but it called again. I picked up. Mark's hoarse voice rasped, Lily, have you been reborn all along? Did you know about the empty card? Did you trick Mom and Kevin into pushing me to divorce you? Did you plan to watch us destroy each other? I stayed calm. I don't know what you're talking about. You did this to yourselves. He was breathing hard, almost incoherent. I don't believe it. I don't believe my mom and Kevin could abandon me. If you can come back to life, then so can I. In the next life, I'll make sure you don't escape me. Before I could respond, I heard it. The screech of brakes, the thunderous crash of metal. Then silence. It was over. The nightmare of the Miller family that had haunted my past life finally vanished from my present one.